Hello and welcome. What is the connection between brown, orange, blue, and black? Not sure? Then stay tuned to find out the answer to this asinine connections category. Today, we're covering the oldest revenue traction motors on the CTA system, the 2600 series. My name is Silver Pilot, and this is a series about the electric traction motors of elevated Chicago. Here we'll be covering various electric trains that have been running over our heads since the Chicago and Southside Rapid Transit Railroad first ran in 1892. Today, as mentioned, we'll be covering the CTA 2600 series rail car. Produced by the Budd Company, yes, that one, crazy right? The CTA began taking delivery of the 2600 series cars in 1981. Like many CTA rolling stock orders, this coincided with the service expansion, in particular the expansion to O'Hare International Airport. To cater to this service, many cars were originally equipped with luggage racks. They were kind of awkward, couldn't fit all luggage types, and passengers were not leaping at the opportunity to leave their luggage unattended on the blue line, so they were removed in later rebuilds. Starting out predominantly on the blue and red line, they at some point in their history saw service on every L line, being a frequently seen car in the transition period when CTA began renaming its lines after colors. CTA transitions have been reflected on the units themselves as well, as throughout their history they've sported multiple different paint schemes. On delivery, they were decorated in the Spirit of Chicago scheme to commemorate the country's bicentennial. This scheme was applied to many a CTA car type, and it looks slightly different on each. On the 2600s, the scheme was a thin red, white, and blue stripe under the windows, with a dark gray band across the window line. The rest of the car was mostly polished stainless steel. As time went on though, these cars were eventually stripped of all color as the agency moved to a uniform stainless steel only fleet. Now, near the end of their service life, some have been retired into work train duty, sporting a thin red and white stripe across the units. Just as they are to people and other rail equipment, Chicago winters have been unkind to the 2600 series. A blizzard in 1999 took 300 cars out of service. The undercarriage of the car was built in a way that light snow could be sucked into the ventilation and electrical systems, where snow goes. This meant the cars were susceptible to breakdowns in poor weather. Thankfully, a rebuild program started in 1999 and running through 2002 removed the issue by climate sealing the undercarriage. It was in this rebuild that they also lost their color. As time went on for these units, they would eventually be replaced by newer 3200 and 5000 series rail cars. Starting in 2014, 2600 series cars began to be tossed around the system to give every line as homogeneous a fleet as possible. The end result was all cars ending up where they are now. If you want to see a 2600 series car for yourself, roughly 400 of them are still in service. The entire Orange Line fleet is running 2600 series, and they're still very common on the brown and blue lines. If you're lucky, you might catch some in work train duty. Work train service usually heralds a soon-to-come end to revenue service for a given model. The 2600 series has known many a replacement, a given when you have a career over 40 years, but the final death knell is expected to come in the shape of the 7000 series rail car. This is assuming enough actually get delivered to replace them. Which is a shame because the 2600 series was the last series to have a lot of forward-facing seats, and its replacement will have the least of this seat type since the cars were made of wood, long before CTA was even a concept. To cap off this video, and because there are so many more CTA and pre-CTA and CTA adjacent models to cover, I think it would be helpful to put them all in a tier list, an entirely vibes-based one no less. So, with little explanation other than they look smooth and forward-facing seats are good, I'm putting this in S tier. With that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Oh, and the connections category at the top of the video was background colors of the running boards on CTA 2600 series rail cars. Until next time!